Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another session of Ask Zak. Of course, myself, the hosts, are Zak, and my trusted colleague, Albert.
Thank you, Zak, and thank you everyone joining our Zak tonight.
So tonight is going to be a little bit of an interesting subject. We're going to talk about fish. Now, a lot of people might think, fish, why would also be interested in fish? Now, there are many branches of fish and fisheries, but we are looking at two different arms, and the first one would be, of course, a lot of people keep fish as pets for themselves and for the kids. It's also a very good way to teach responsibility to little ones, as it's not as high maintenance sometimes as our dogs and our cats. And of course, our fish is a good start for our little ones. And then, of course, we've got our fish farmers, tilapia and trout farmers, because there is definitely a commercial leg there, and there is money to be made if you know what you're doing. But first of all, as usual, we kick off with general health. Guys, be very sure of when we talk about our fish, make sure when you buy them as a pet, go read up about that species and their needs. Remember, different fish have different requirements, whether it's health-wise or, of course, when it comes down to nutrition-wise. Another thing is, when you buy your fish, they usually give it in a plastic bag for you, filled with water and, of course, with the fish inside. And that water is, of course, helped out with a little bit of oxygen just to help the animal breathe for the trip back home. Please don't shake that bag too much, you will kill your fish. Another thing is, do not fill your tank completely. You fill it only to 3/4 of the way, because that little bit of water that you've got in your fish bag, you want to add that to the tank of that your fish is going to be put in. It's just something that they're used to. It's not as big a shock on their system. So that's something to look out for. And if you live in town, of course, chlorine content can affect your animal's health. So you get a little bottle of chlorine neutralizer. That's drops that you apply to the water, of course, to help the fish with, help fighting the chlorine, of breaking it down, to neutralize it so that your fish can function properly. And then, of course, there's a big array of different products. Very important, of course, our fish get the oxygen out of the water. So it's always good to have a little, either an air stone or a little pump inside your tank, just to circulate the water and get water bubbling. As that water bubbles through as the bubbles bubble through the water, of course, the oxygen in it will dissolve in your water, and that, of course, will help your fish to breathe. And of course, that's very important for them to stay alive. Another thing that we're looking at is, of course, basically just your general health. There are a lot of tonics that we can add to the water. We've got our goldfish tonic that we sell at our branches that help fight diseases, just safens the water for your fish and to make sure they stay healthy. And of course, your filter plays a big role. You need to get your algae out of the water. So there are different ways of doing it, but as I do it with my little boy, I scoop out the little fish into a separate bowl, throw out the water inside my fish tank, and of course clean it, rinse it out. Of course, it's very important, those little stones that we've got at the bottom, we want to rinse them, clean them to get the algae off there. So very important, guys. And then we reintroduce our fish. If you've got one of those corner filters that's got the filter wool in, I would rather advise, you can wash the filter, if that filter wool, if it gets saturated with algae, but otherwise, it's so cheap, I would rather put in new filter wool. And of course, remember your little layer of charcoal. That charcoal, of course, absorbs toxins and anything like that might be harmful to your fish. So very important. But that was quite a mouthful, and fish health goes much further. But nutrition, of course, with all animals, Albert, plays a big role.
Of course, Zak, definitely. What an interesting fact, Zak. You definitely learned me a few things, a few tips over there. So wonderful. And of course, all of these products are available at your Alzu depot. You get a starter kit that I think comes with your filter, like just said, your filter wool, everything that you need available. And the best of all is if you are cleaning out those stones or the filter wool, if you need it, all of these items are available to purchase on their own. Individually, you can replace these products that we are talking to you about now in your fish tank. And I think, Zach, while we are cleaning our fish tank, there's also, I've seen a product that quite surprised me, is a magnet. That's quite interesting, that you put the magnet on the inside of the glass, and outside you can use the magnet to clean the whole tank. So just a wide range of products available at your nearest Alzu store. But when it comes to our fish feeding, it of course plays a major role, just like with any animal that we stock feed for here at Alzu Feeds. It plays an important role. So basically the ranges, Zach, that we have on the commercial side, I'm going to speak about a bit more on the commercial side and what we have to offer feed wise. We've got about 3 different species that we cater for. First of all, we look at our tilapia. We have, of course, your starter, grower, finisher pellets for your tilapia. Now, these are available, of course, in 25 kilograms. This brand that we stock is, of course, your AV Plus, AV Fish Food that we stock for you, available there. Starter, grower, finisher. Now, of course, when it comes to feeding these animals, it's about feeding them the right feed at the right production stage. If they are in that starter phase, we want to feed them the correct amount. If you look at these fish feeds, Doug, they are high in protein, high in fat, and of course also in energy, because our fish do need that. Especially with our trout that live in a colder environment, in cold waters, I think they definitely need a little bit more fat and of course energy, and the same with protein. But just to get back to the tilapia, we have those feeds available in starter, grower, and finisher. I think looking forward into the future, if we can look into it, I think aquaculture, using fish as a protein source, fish farming could be something that can get there into the future. Of course, South Africa is a bit arid. We have water issues, but in the areas that we do have water, I think maybe that is a possibility. So if we want to look at our colder areas, of course, we are well known in the Belfast, Lydenburg, the Highveld areas, our trout countries or trout areas in South Africa. And of course there we've got a wide range of feed available for the trout. Now this is again an AV product. It's not formulated or made by Alzu Feeds, but of course we've got the fry food in the beginning, or fry, sorry, when they are fry, and then it will go over to the starter, the grower, and the finisher. I think there's a breeder ration also in there that will probably be just a bit on a special order, but we can get that for you. And once again, these products are available in 25 to 50 kilogram bags. Just go to your nearest Alzu depot, talk to the manager there, and we will assist you. So to get back to the trouts, of course, in our colder areas, they have to perform under a certain temperature in that water. If that water gets too warm, they will not really produce, and there will be problems. Of course, with your flow of water, the circulation of water keeps your water fresh. It also oxygenates that water and keeps the fish alive. So definitely make sure that you can get all of these products at your Alzu depot. Nonetheless, we also have, of course, our koi fish, our beautiful koi fish with those beautiful colors. We have the feed for them as well. Now, when it comes to the koi fish, of course, Zach, we have it a bit different. It's not in a starter, grower, or in a finisher phase, but what you can look at is the diameter of the pellet. So we have a 1 millimeter, 2, 3, 4, and 5 millimeter koi pellet, which is available, I think, from 1 kilogram, 5 kilogram, and 25 kilogram available at your depot. So if you are in your beautiful Alzu depot where you've got your fish section or the aisle where our fish products are, remember that if you are a commercial farmer or that you are looking for that product, you can get that product in 25 or even 50 kilograms. It's just as easy as going to your depot manager and organizing it.
Just to add on here with Albert concerning the commercial farmers, especially if you're looking at your tilapia or your trout, as with all farming produce, you have to identify your market. The challenge is much more when it comes to our fish. It's not as well known, and you can't just sell it on the street or sell it live like some of the people do with the chickens. You have to do your homework very carefully, guys. You don't want to be stuck with the animal that you have to keep feeding, and of course that's going to push up your costs, and at the end of the day you're not going to make money. So please do, especially with fish farming, make sure you secure your market before you actually start. Otherwise, you're going to sit with a lot of problems.
A very, very good tip. From a technical advisor's point of view, I'm an animal production scientist. I love and care for animals and give advice out every day, but that is more for our production agricultural animals. With our fish, and like Zak is saying, my advice to you is to consult an aquaculture specialist that will help you in that and that knows they are specifically educated in that fashion or in that area, in that genre of animal production. And like Zak said, do your homework before you venture into this.
So all these things that we talked about, the commercial fish food, our tilapia and our trout, of course all the small things for our pets, when it comes to our pet fish, our filters, our heaters, all these things are available under one roof, and that's of course your Alzu One-Stop Depot. So come into your nearest Alzu One-Stop to learn more, and of course kit out your fish tank or get your farming practice set up. So come in and make a turn, guys. But that's not where we stop. Albert, you guys are busy with functions, of course, that's ahead of us this week. 100%
correct, Zak. If you are in the Marble Hall area or surrounding areas, you are more than welcome to join us at Alzu Marble Hall, where we will be having a pig information day. So for all of the pig farmers around there, or if you are wondering about venturing into pig farming, please come and attend this free event. All you need to do is go onto our Facebook page, register at the depot. And of course, there's a wonderful benefit by coming to this Farmers Day, Zak. We are, of course, in partnership, or we work together with PIC. They will be attending that day and also giving a presentation. And there will also be a special. If you do attend this Farmer Day, there will be a special that you will get a voucher or a coupon that you can use to buy some gilts or boars. So make sure to attend this day. It will be on the 17th of March at Alzu Marble Hall. Registration at 9:30. We will begin at 10 o'clock. Thank you so much for watching this episode of our Zak regarding the fish. It's definitely interesting. Zak, thank you for sharing some really interesting facts. I really enjoyed hearing some of those facts, and it's always nice being here. Thank you guys for listening, of course.
So guys, that's it for tonight. Have a good evening and see you next week. From my side, goodbye.
Thank you.